wonderful Monday. So excited about things to come. As you guys can see right now, things are picking back up again. Rates are slowly climbing, but that's okay. What people or industry insiders are calling the market stabilizing, right? And with the coaching, our office is on fire. Want to bring on our coach, Frank, and he's going to go over some strategic ways that you can increase your business. Frank, the floor is yours.
Hi, Frank. Good morning. You have to unmute yourself. Frank, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, that would probably help, wouldn't it? Hey, oh, you guys want to hear me? I thought you were going to try and read my lips.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Good to see everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I thought today what I wanted to do is go a little bit outside of what we've been talking about, outside the norm a little bit, and just go over for a little bit our favorite subject I know everybody loves, and that would be phone calls, talking on the phone to people. And, I spend a good chunk of my time talking to individuals on the phone, whether it be for sale by owners, expireds, database, online lead follow-up scripts for buyers. And I think it's important for everybody to know a couple things. One, and not that, some of this is not groundbreaking, but I think it's just important to remember and understand. Make no mistake about it, no matter what you're doing in this market, you're going to have to talk to people. So, we've been talking about social media and how to find people on video, which I'm a big fan of. But at the end of the day, if you find somebody on video or you find somebody on social, you then will have to have a conversation with them at some point. And some of you, it will be a lot easier if you're, some of you are willing to get on the phone, some of you aren't. You're all at different stages, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I've got some good scripts for circle dialing that I think I'm going to share with all of you. And I'm going to talk about circle dialing. And we can always add to this layer. I'm not going to go the expired and for sale by owner route unless somebody has specific questions. But I want to make sure that you all feel comfortable on database. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable on circle dialing. And I want to make sure you feel comfortable on leveraging a listing, whether yours or be it somebody else's. And so I want to talk a little bit about what you would say and how that plays out in this market. So let's kind of get started on that. So let's start with the easy one, meaning that everybody should be doing, which is database. So database there's a couple different scenarios inside of database that I like to talk about. One is, let's talk about if you haven't talked to someone in a while. If you have somebody in your, first of all, if everybody should be working database. Everybody should have people that they know. So let's just talk about what that looks like. The first thing you have to do is you have to get an idea, no matter who you are, who you have in your database, okay? So let's say that I, Frank, am brand new to the business, or let's say that I, Frank, have been in the business for 10 years and have never used a CRM. Okay, so we got two different scenarios here. I have to first get clear on who are the people that I know in my network. And that includes groups of people like friends and family, personal and professional contacts, past clients, and investors. Okay? Those are typically going to be who makes up your database. Now, some of you would say, well, I have 10,000 people in my database. And I might say, okay, but you're not talking to all of them regularly or have a relationship with them regularly because a lot of them might be old online leads or whatever. So I tell all my clients, go through your social media, go through those 4 groups of people and figure out what is the actual number of people that should be in my database. You need to clean it up. You need to make sure they're in your CRM, okay? And then you need to make sure they're on a 30-touch follow-up plan, which we'll talk about in the future. But all your database should be on a 30-touch follow-up plan. And you might say, Frank, what's a touch? It could be a text message, a phone call, a social media comment, a pop by, a client appreciation event. It could be any of that. The point is you have to touch them enough in many different ways so that you engage them. And it should be about 30 times a year. And we can talk about that in the future as well. But the main thing is get your database cleaned up. Why do we need it cleaned up? Well, because we know that your database will convert at a certain percentage once we know who your real database is. So for example, let's say Frank, as a new agent or experienced agent, has 400 people at the end of the day that are in my database. After I clean it all up and I take all the online leads that are old out, 400 people in my database. Well, we know that in a typical market, 7 to 10% of your database will convert every single year. That's why you should work it every single year. And it's the highest converting. So I always point people in database first. It could be 100, it could be 200, it could be 400, it doesn't matter. Typically 7 to 10% will convert every single year. So if I have 100 people in my database, that's 7 to 10 deals every single year. If I have 400, right, that's 28 to 40 deals a year that should convert every single year. Now, based on the way the market is, meaning because interest rates have been climbing, you have a lot of people who have already capitalized on low interest rate. So the conversion or the people that will convert is probably more like 4 to 6 in this type of market. But you can get it back to 7 to 10. And how do you do that? Well, you could talk to them about, hey, let's say somebody calls me, right? Or I call Ruben and I say, hey, Ruben, listen, I just wanted to see how you're doing. How's the family? I hope things are going well. I can't believe that the kids are growing up so fast. It looks like they're doing great in soccer. We have this conversation back and forth. And then he says, hey, Frank, I appreciate the call. Hey, listen, we're really doing good. We love the home. Great. It still works for us. So then I might transition to, since he's already purchased with me recently, hey, Ruben, have you ever thought about building wealth? And then we might transition into investment property. So by being able to move them into another transaction, now I can get my conversion rate up because the people that haven't bought, I can talk to them about purchasing a primary residence. And the ones that already have capitalized on a low interest rate, we talk about investing. So when you're talking to your database, let's say it's been a while. Okay. Somebody asked, what do you mean by clean up? How do you do it? Cleaning up, what I mean is there's nothing wrong with taking people out of your database. It's a good question. Taking people out of your database is just as good as putting them in. If I've got somebody in my database that moved to Alaska, probably not worth me following up with them every day. Now, anything's possible. If you talk to them all the time and they know a bunch of people where you live, fine. But there's people in your database that either maybe they bought a home with someone else and they don't want to talk to you anymore, or they moved and they left the area, or they passed away. Right? Like there's people that you can take out constantly. It's maintaining your database. We call that database integrity. Now, I'm a big fan of not getting anyone out of your database unless you absolutely have to. Even somebody that uses a different agent or whatever, I would mark them as dead. And then you can always try and use that list to re-engage people later. But take them out if they're not going to do anything. It's fine. You want to clean up your database. Now, how do you segment your database best way into your CRM? I would recommend doing it by past client, sphere of influence, or center of influence, investor, business to business contact. Those are 4, headings that pretty much seem like that keeps your database in a good light, so you can keep them organized. Now, you should always use tags in your database to make sure you know where people came from and how you met them. So keep that in mind. I'm going to give you an acronym to use when you're talking with your database. It's called FORD, and it stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Now, when you're talking with someone, whether it's recent or it's been a while, you should talk on those things. Unless they don't know you're in real estate, you can bring it up. But most cases, they're going to ask you so if you call somebody and I say, Anthony, hey, it's Frank. I just wanted to see how you're doing. You know, I drove by where we used to hang out and I thought that I would just call you because I was wondering how you were doing. How's the family? What's up with you in your life? You know, what's going on? So if I ask him a bunch of those questions, then eventually he's going to say, hey, Frank, so I really appreciate the call. How are you doing? What are you up to? Boom. I can mention I'm in real estate. So it prevents you from having to bring it up and shove it down somebody's throat. So you should first of all, we're all in a business where we should be in the business because we love people. All right. So if you love people, then you should genuinely care about what's going on in their life. And if you genuinely care and ask great questions, then they will reciprocate most times. So by asking them great questions, they should ask great questions about you. But ask about their family, ask about their home, if it's, you know, whether it's been a while or not, the questions you think you can ask, there's nothing wrong, and they'll bring up real estate. So I just want to make sure that we're all clear on how easy it is to stay in touch with their database. It doesn't have to be this monumental, amazing script with one-liners that are zing zang, I got the deal. That's not how prospecting goes. Whether you're expireds or FSBOs or database or circle dialing, it's always about just moving the conversation forward and getting to the next step. That next step might be, and this is away from database because you might already have their contact info, but sometimes it is, what's their email address? Do they have questions about the market? Maybe we set up a second meeting for coffee, right? So it doesn't have to be this amazing close the deal on the phone, get the appointment right now. That's good if you can get there, but don't force it. Just move the relationship forward a little bit. All right, that's all we're trying to do. Okay, any questions on database before we move forward? We'll jump back into database in the future, but I just wanted to make sure you were comfortable on what to talk about on the phone with someone from your database. Any questions on that before I move on to something else?
Hey, Frank, I have a question.
Yes.
So during the conversation, you know, when I have a conversation, you know, somehow, some way, it always gets to how are you doing? How am I doing? And then, you know, real estate comes about just like how you explained.
Mhm.
Even if that prospect does not want to or doesn't need my services at that time, I always kind of leave it lingering at the end of the conversation where, you know, hey, if you come across anybody that's in need of real estate service, please, I'd love to have that referral and stuff. Is that something that you commonly do as well?
I do. I think one way I usually like to try and leave it, and there's nothing wrong with what you said. That's a great way to do it. Another way to do it would be, hey, listen, Ruben, you know, if you happen to come across somebody that's going through a life change, I find that that's typically what happens. And we're always in constant communication with people that are going through a life change, like a divorce, or they have a new baby, or the kids are going to college and they're empty nesters. If you happen to come across anybody where you think they might need that real estate help, please feel free to give them my contact info or put them in touch with me. I would be glad to help them. I'm always looking to grow my business with people that I know, like, and trust, just like you. I want more customers just like you. So if there's any way that I can help more people, please let me know. And that's kind of how I'll leave it. That's a great question. You know, for a lot of us, we have a powerful database, but we don't know what to say to bridge the gap from, hey, we're friends, to bringing up real estate and moving more towards a close. So I'm going to give you a great example of something you could do. So if I go to coffee and I take Ruben to coffee and I say, Ruben, let's get some coffee. I'd love to catch up with you. He says, yes, we go to coffee. If he's really close to me and he's a close friend, maybe I have 5 to 10 close friends. What I would do, and I would hope my friends would do with me, is I would sit down with Ruben and I would say, hey, Ruben, you know, I'm always looking to grow my business with people that I know, like, and trust, just like you. I want more people just like you. So I'm curious. Could I hold you accountable over the next year to find me one person that I could help with real estate? Do you think I can hold you accountable to one person? He's going to say yes if we're close. He's going to say, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. I say, hey, look, man, I don't care if it's work, wherever, but I know you come in contact with lots of people that I can help. And I would love to do the same for you, but I want more people like you. I want more clients like you. And he's going to say yes. And so now he's giving me permission to remind him throughout the year, hey, listen, I just thought you said I can hold you accountable. How's it going? Once a quarter, once a month, whatever, right? And so we should be doing that with our friends. I always hear people say like, oh, I know so-and-so, he's got this kind of business, a buddy of mine. I wonder if I can get a discount. No, you should be willing to pay full price to your friends. You should be willing to pay full price. You should be willing to swing business to your friends, and they should do the same to you. You don't want a discount, you want to help their business out. And that's the same thing in this situation. So you should be able to ask your friends because you care about them, and you would do the same for them to hold them accountable, to help you grow your business. And you want to help more people. You want to be in service to more people. So that's just an easy recommendation to find the 5 or 10 people that you're closest with and ask them if you can hold them accountable, and you should do the same for them.
Hey, Frank, it's me, Paul.
Yeah.
Great job. Quick question. This may be maybe old fashioned. Wanted to get your thoughts on it. During that conversation when you're discussing about all this, do you think you should also share that you could send them a business card or some kind of, I don't know if a magnet or something in the mail that's tangible? Is that still effective or not? Or do you think they should just have your number stored in their phone and kind of assume that that's enough, right? For them to be able to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And I think if you have something and you're willing to send it, sure. If your friend think, look, we always want to respect. I shot a video on this for Tom Ferry, and I said this in the video. You have to make sure you understand that your friend's reputation's on the line when you're going to that person. You owe it to that person to be professional and do the right thing. So to your point, Paul, if they say, hey, is there something you can send them or something you can give me? Absolutely. Everybody's going to be different. And I think you have to take your friend or the referring partner into consideration based on what they want. But if they want something like that, great. If not, that's fine too. I don't think it's necessary, but I don't think it would hurt either. So I think it depends on the situation. But at the end of the day, I think you offer up the services, and you mentioned, hey, listen, I would be glad to reach out to them. Obviously, based on your wishes, depending on what you'd want me to do, I'd be glad to do it. But I also don't want to step on toes. Or if you want to have the conversation and send them to me, either way is fine with me. I want to respect your relationship with that person. So whatever I can do to help out, just let me know. But I think you bring up a good point. So it's fine either way, whatever works, right? So I will say you will have to be able to go, you have to be willing to go the extra mile and make yourself a little uncomfortable, if so be it, to help make that connection. Because the faster you can get involved, your friend isn't going to be the one that's able to eloquently state what it is that you do. So you have to have that 30-second, 15-second elevator pitch, if you will, on what you do, right? What is it that you do that's professional, doesn't sound cheesy, and it's like, you're trying to help people. So good question. I hope that answers your question, but I think it could be either way. It's a good question. Okay, so we'll see how far we get on this next one because we have 11 minutes, and I think this is a really important one. So let's say this is off the database now, we're talking about how to just drum up business through calling, because I think this is a really important time right now. And I think circle dialing and leveraging listings is going to be a great way to get more business should you want it, right? So database will help you. Obviously, follow up on open houses. In case I haven't said this before, I think it's important for everyone to hear this. 82%, I'll say it one more time, 82% of leads do something second month to 12 months plus, or I should say to 12 months. So from month 2 to month 12, 82% of leads convert. 8% convert in the first 30 days and another 10 after 12 months. All the money is in the follow-up. All the money is in the follow-up. So if all you do is go after the new hot lead and you abandon everybody else, you will lose a ton of business. The money is in the follow-up. So knowing that, make sure you have a plan that covers 2 to 12 months, at least 12 months out. All right. And another thing, another stat you may not know is it takes on average 12 to 16 follow-ups to get back in touch with a lead that reaches out. Usually like online or open house or that kind of a thing, 12 to 16. So if you follow up 12 times or 10 times, you're setting yourself up for failure. Your follow-up plans have to go deeper and longer. Okay, so that being said, somebody gets a listing, you get a listing, somebody in your firm gets a listing. We have something called the announcement, promise, commitment script. It's one of my favorites. Okay, I'm going to go through briefly how it works because I think it's that good. We have somebody that set 100 appointments on this script. So there's 3 times that you call somebody. The first time is when you get the listing agreement signed. You sit down and you call everybody around the listing that lives in the neighborhood. The conversation goes like this. Hi, this is Frank with XYZ Property. I'm reaching out because your neighbors at 123 Banana Street decided to sell their home. Very exciting. I wanted to let you know there's going to be extra activity on the block. Should you have any questions or concerns, here's my contact info. Have a great day. That's the call. No questions unless they ask you a question. All right, that's call number 1. That's the announcement. The promise. You call the day you get an offer or accept an offer. Call the same people, 0 to 200 people. And here's the script. Hey, Sarah, it's Frank again with XYZ Real Estate. Hey, I wanted to give you a call. Remember Susie at Banana Street? We listed their home. Yep, it's actually under contract. Great news. They're going to say to you, oh, wow, what did it sell for? And you will say, I can't tell you what it sold for yet, but I can tell you we had multiple offers or over ask, whatever the situation was. I promise I'll call you the day it closes and tell you what it sold for. Have a great day. So that was the second call. You still have not asked a question. Third call is the day that it closes or within 48 hours of each of these events. And you call and you say, Sarah, hey, it's Frank again with XYZ Real Estate. I promised you I would call you and tell you what the home sold for on Banana Street. The home sold for X. What do you think of that price? And then stop talking. Okay? They will say, wow, or really. And then you say, what do you think of that price? They'll talk about, whether they think it's good or not. And then I think based on what they say, you're going to ask one of 2 questions. How much or how much less do you think your home is worth? I would say, how much do you think your home is worth? Okay. Then they'll say, well, ours is less or more or whatever. And then, would you be open to selling your home if I could get you that price? Or at what price would you become a seller? And if they say, we're not interested in selling, you could also say, is this your forever home? That's simple. You really only ask one question on the third call. Gives you 3 calls to set up trust. That's the point of the script, okay? Some of you should be calling and doing this. Some of you maybe not. It depends on what your lead sources are. But this is a great option to call people. It's very easy. It's very soft. It's not very harsh, meaning like it's not very uncomfortable. It's about as easy as it gets when it comes to calling people out of the blue. Okay. Any questions on that script or anything that we just talked about? Okay. I don't know if I want to go over the circle prospecting stuff because we only have 4 minutes. But let me go over at least why you would circle prospect and what it is. Let's talk about that, and then we'll wrap up in the next couple minutes. So circle prospecting, what is it? I get people that say, what's circle prospecting? Circle prospecting is simply calling around a home that you're going to do an open house for, a home that you sold, or a home that you just listed. You're just going to call in a circle around that home. That's circle prospecting. That's all it means. Okay. Let's talk about reasons you would do it. You would do it for a just listed. You'd do it for a just sold. You would do it if there's a high turnover. You would do it if there's a low turnover, and you would do it for your geo farm if you're a farming. Okay. So I'll go over real quick those 4 examples, and then we can finish it next time. So if I'm calling for a just listed, I would say, I'm calling because I just listed your neighbor's home at 123 XYZ Street. And I was wondering, who do you know that would want to move into your amazing neighborhood? That simple. If I were calling around for just sold, it would be, hi, I'm calling because I just sold your neighbor's home at 123 whatever. And I was wondering if you'd like to take advantage of all the buyers whose offers didn't get accepted. One of the things I'm telling my agents right now is, if you, let's say you're in a neighborhood that's an agent sold a home that you really want to circle prospect, you could call that agent inside your firm or not and say, hey, how many offers did you get on that property? And they might say, oh my gosh, we were flooded with offers. Well, now you know there's a lot of demand for that home and that price point. So I would get calling in that neighborhood. And I would let them know, oh my gosh, that home that just sold, there was multiple offers. That means there's a ton of buyers whose offers didn't get accepted. Have you had any thoughts of selling? You guys have to, use every advantage you can in this market. That's what it's going to take to win. Okay, since we're out of time, I'm not going to go through the circle prospecting script anymore. Any questions about just the beginning of that circle prospecting stuff or anything we went over today? I hope it helped a little bit.
Yeah, it did. Real quick, Frank, I love what I took a lot of notes here for our family here. You talked about database integrity, deading a lead if they're using another agent, the database follow-up. I know that you talked about, at least taking 12 to 16 times to get back into contact from an organic real lead. I think some of these things that we're not doing, I think just because that we're scared. I think we're scared of rejection, right? I think that's one of the things that agents are scared of. And that's why after the first time they said, not interested right now, we tend to just say, okay, dead that lead. So a question I might ask you is, what do they tell you after you get an organic lead, like a Zillow lead? They tell you, you know what, Frank, I'm simply not interested. What do you do at that point? Do you dead the lead or do you put it back in your database?
I think I would ask them, what prompted their search in the first place? Right? I mean, it really comes down to, there's no one-liner. I think it really just is like, okay, let's figure out where we go from here. And I would be honest with the lead. Hey, listen, I'm just curious. What prompted you to search in the first place? You'd be surprised at what they tell you. That's an open-ended question. Use a series of open-ended and closed-ended questions to gather information. That's your goal. Because what you have to figure out is, if they don't want that home, would you like to see a different one? What's important to you about this home that you loved? Where are you now? Are you renting or do you own a home? Oh, you bought during COVID and you're not really happy with what you bought. That tells me something. Oh, you're renting and you're tired of throwing your money away. That tells me something. Oh, well, we're unhappy, but we don't have the money yet, and we will in 6 months. That tells me something. Let's put a plan together for 6 months. So it could go a lot of different ways. And I think it's just, be inquisitive and don't discount the lead because they're now like, no, and get off the phone. Mindset is everything when it comes to prospecting. And you have to understand, you're of service, and we just have to find out what their exact situation is. So that's, I guess, my best answer would be follow up with more questions to gather some info so we can help them at the end of the day and build trust.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Frank. We will see you again next. I think David has one quick question. David, go ahead. You raise your hand. You're on mute. David, you're on mute. I think he's on the phone, maybe.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
Frank, will these scripts be available for us?
A lot of these, the announcement promise commitment script, Anthony, is on my Coach Frank's Facebook page. It's in the file section, so you can grab that. And then the other stuff, I can see if there's a circle prospecting script I can send you guys, but the announcement promise commitment for sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Frank. We'll see you next week. Thank you for all that great information.
Absolutely. I'll and I think actually, oh yeah, next week we will meet. Okay. Have
Thank
a
you,
great
Frank.
week,
See you
everybody.
next week. Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.
Bye.
Take
guys.
care.
Frank.
Bye, guys. Bye.
So we're gonna go ahead and introduce our valuable affiliates. First of all, I want to bring on Skip and the team. We're in-house lending upstairs right next to Ruben. Skip, not sure if you're on, brother. If you can talk about our wonderful in-house. No, I think Michael's on.
Hi, yeah,
Go
Skip's
ahead.
not on today, so I'm on this morning. Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael here. Yeah, just wanted to, the market's kind of up and down right now. The yields are actually getting lower, so hopefully it'll favor, this week. But I do want to bring up one of our interesting loan programs that not a lot of people are aware. It's the I-10 program. These type of programs, they have a certain value to people who possibly don't have a social security, so non-residential, or they don't require a visa. These can be bought with primary purchase. Non-occupied co-bars are allowed. Also, the max LTV on these is 85%, and with this there's no MI, so that's something of interest that possibly you can bring up to your clients. So yeah, but if anyone has any questions on other loan programs or how to figure out this mortgage industry, we have a lot of options for everyone, so we'll be glad to help everyone out. Thanks, Anthony. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mike. We'll also want to bring on Ann Cho. She is going to be working for Top Escrow. We're going to be officially in-house downstairs, right next to the reception. So I'll let Ann speak about Top Escrow and how we can help you. Go ahead, Ann.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. My name's Ann. Like Anthony said, I'm with Top Escrow, and we're going to actually have an office down here. If anyone has any questions about any type of escrow questions for their real estate transactions, you guys can give me a call. Also, if you guys need net sheets, I can prepare that for you guys right away. So like I said, I'm available for anyone here in your guys' office. Okay, thanks.
And also, I would like to add, does the accommodation recording as well. So
Yeah.
you have a need of that need. She's very, very helpful. So I've done one with her. It's very efficient. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Huge resource. Please utilize it. They're in-house, they're downstairs. You can talk to them easily. Thank you so much, Ann. Now I'll toss it back to Ruben for the early affiliates. Go ahead, Ruben. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Frank. I know he left, but a very good session. Thank you, Ann, too. Before I get started, I do want to bring up that we are actually working on a buyer seminar to offer to our agents. It'll be catered toward the agent. So if any agents out there, look out for the flyer I'm going to be sending out this week. It'll be sponsored by Angie Tang and also Skip and all of them at ClearPoint. So basically you can, I think Jeffrey is working on his church to have a buyer seminar at his church, whether it be for investment, first-time home buyer, but it will be catered for Jeff so he can get build on his sphere of influence and also possibly get some buyers and stuff. So look out for that. And if you're interested, just shoot me an email back and we'll start putting it together, okay? Before I introduce our affiliates, happy birthday to Rosanna Chong. Happy birthday, have a great week. A couple of agent reminders that Tuesday, tomorrow, we're gonna have a commercial seller lead generation class. This is going to be hosted by CoStar. So if you want to learn how you can utilize CoStar to generate more seller needs on the commercial real estate side, please attend that at 2 p.m. I believe that will be in person and via Zoom. Wednesday at 10 a.m., we are going to have our commercial meeting. So we have a bunch of commercial stuff going on this week. Wednesday at 10 a.m., we have a commercial meeting that's going to be with VIA Inspections and everything you need to know for a commercial inspection. And then Thursday, we're going to have our third session of our commercial class series, and this is going to go over build out. So this is actually building a offering memorandum. So that's going to be at 10 a.m. via Zoom only. Okay. And then finally, Friday at 10 a.m., we're going to have our regular training at Alhambra office. Okay. So there's a lot of good commercial and regular training this week. So please utilize it. Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Ruben, Wednesday, commercial meeting, is that in person or Zoom as well?
Both. So Wednesday, VIA Inspections will be here in person. He's going to be providing breakfast or brunch, and he also has some gifts that he's going to be giving away. He didn't want to disclose what they were, but he says that they're very valuable gifts. I don't know, they might be hammers or toolboxes or something because he's in the inspection world. But if you guys have time to stop in, it'd be a good thing. You'd be able to engage with the inspectors and ask them questions as well. You could do it via Zoom as well, but I think in person you get to engage a little bit more. So yes, that will be in person and brunch will be provided.
What time?
10
Wednesday?
a.m. I'll go over it again. Tuesday, tomorrow, it's going to be 2 p.m. Okay. That's going to be CoStar. Wednesday is going to be 10 a.m. That's going to be in person with VIA Inspections. Thursday is going to be 10 a.m. again. That's going to be Zoom only. And that's going to be our third commercial class for build out. Now, very important for that session. Have your build out tile ready. Have your laptop ready so you can go through the whole build out process and be able to utilize your laptop at the same time. And then Friday at 10 a.m. as usual. So a lot of good training this week, heavy in training this week, but it's very important. If you guys can utilize it every single day, I would recommend it. Peter, do you want to add anything to that?
No, yeah, pretty clear. Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah. Pretty much.
You'll also get a reminder the day of, so don't worry about it. You'll get the Zoom link if there is a Zoom link. Okay, I think there is a Zoom link for everything. I think that's it for the updates. Let me go ahead and introduce our affiliates today. I see Marie. Marie, you want to get started?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Marie Paramore, Contempo Escrow, here to help you grow your business. I've been a part of the Coldwell Banker family for over 13 years, so very familiar with your policies, procedures, and how you run. I'm here to help you with the things that you need. With the current market, it's a little tough out there, so it's getting back to the basics. It's farming, it's cold calling. If you guys need net sheets for your listing appointments, please feel free to call me if you have questions. You know that I am available by my cell phone. You're able to call me on the weekends and after 5. So if you have anything that you need, let me know. And guys, please, again, don't sleep on mobile homes. They have probably tripled in sales right about now. I think with the residential stall, mobile homes are picking up the slack. I want all of your residentials, but if we can get out there and for some extra income, let's do it. Have a great week.
All right, thank you, Marie. Let's go over to Sunny Kim. Good morning, Sunny.
Yes, good morning. Happy Monday. Sunny Kim from Valley View Home Loan Direct Lender. I want to talk about FHA loan real quick. Recently, FHA lowered their monthly PMI from 0.85 to 0.55. They're really trying to help the first-time home buyer get into a home, but not just the first-time home buyer, but if your client have a credit issue, such as a bankruptcy, the seasoning under bankruptcy as with FHA is 2 year, where the conventional loan is 4 year. Or if they have some credit issue, they don't qualify for conventional, consider doing it under FHA. If you have any question about FHA guideline or any other mortgage question, please feel free to contact me. I will put my information on the chat box. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunny. I like your sunny background.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to, let's see. Unita, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, everyone. Just want to say hello. Unita Wu from Home Warranty of America, your 13 months home warranty. So we still offer 1 month free for your home warranty. And I do speak English, Chinese, Mandarin, Indonesian. I do have an English brochure, Chinese, Mandarin brochure, as well as Spanish brochure that I could be able to help. Marie has mentioned a little bit about the mobile home, so that is a good thing. We do sell mobile home for home warranty as well. So if you do need that home warranty for your mobile home, we're here to help you as well. Still 13 months, and give us a try. We'd love to earn your business. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Unita. All right, let's move over to Brandon. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Hope everyone is having a great day. I know Ruben mentioned that there's going to be a class next week on the 22nd. Angie and I are actually going to be doing that class together. And what we're going to be talking about, obviously right now, is tax season. We know there's the tax season. There's always a chance to try to find out what that information is on a property. So if you're working with a buyer, this is a great tool that First American has on our website at fanhd.com. So it's a tax estimator, and what it's telling you on each property is ad valorem taxes, special assessments, and then if you want to know what the potential property taxes may be, so for your buyers out there who want to know, they look at the closing month, or even for if you have a listing, this will be able to tell you all of that information all in one little link on your phone. So if you wanted to do this before you were going in with some buyers or for a listing pitch to be able to provide this information, this is a great tool for you. And so we're going to go more in depth on that in the class, but just look out for fanhd.com. If you go to that website, again, you can look up even your own personal property taxes. So look at those tools. They're great. They're for you. And I'll put my info in the chat. I'm always available to help you guys out with content and providing more value for your customers.
Brandon,
Yeah.
Will you be able to order replacement tax bills in your website, or change of address or things like that?
So we can, if you have like a current listing, we can always update it. But then if you need to order one and you want to just see one tax, just the tax section, we can order that, just the tax.
Okay, that's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
Perfect. Thanks, Brandon. And yeah,
Thanks,
that'll be next week on the 22nd with Angie and
Yep.
Brandon. Okay, lunch and learn. And
We'll have lunch.
What's that?
I said, we'll have lunch.
All right.
Actually,
Like
that'll
that.
be brunch and learn. You
Yeah.
need to get back to me on confirm that time, right? Or is it 12 o'clock?
She said 12 was better.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Maureen. Good morning, Maureen.
Good morning, guys. Maureen McCune with the Mortgage Group. How's everybody doing today? I just wanted to point out, we have one of our products. We have a lot of products because we are a mortgage company, so we do offer lots of different types of products. We're not just limited to one or two. But one of the products I have is for seniors. It's 62 years and older, and it's a reverse mortgage. That is a good loan for a senior who would like to buy. And I'm not sure everyone knows this, but on a reverse mortgage, it is available for a senior to purchase a home with a reverse mortgage loan. So the loan to values are a lot different, and the concept is a lot different than traditional loans, but they are out there, which basically means that the senior puts down the sufficient down payment for a reverse mortgage. They will not have a payment for the rest of their life. It doesn't matter if the market goes up and down, if rates go up and down, if appreciation goes up and down. They can stay in the property for the rest of their life and not have a mortgage payment. Some will have the opportunity to have impounds included with that, but some cannot because maybe they don't have quite enough room for that. So The only thing that the lender does look at is basically, do they have the means to make a tax and interest payment? So it's very good product. You know, it's not for everybody, but it is for those seniors that have limited income, that you know, are just living off of Social Security perhaps. And it's not just for them either. It's for actual people that have money, but yet they don't want to put it into their mortgage anymore. Perhaps they want to do other investments. Perhaps they want to travel. But this is a very good loan for seniors. If you have any questions on it, give me a call. I've done quite a few of them. In fact, I'm in the middle of doing one right now. So I'm here to help you out. Let me know. Thanks.
Maureen,
Yes.
I want to know what's the trend of the interest rate now, now that the Fed is trying to raise another 50 percentage point next month.
Mhm. What are the
What do you
rates?
think?
What are the rates in general, or just?
No, for the Fed, the discount rate. Federal
Okay.
Reserve.
Okay, I'm not quite understanding. Are you talking about the reverse
It's
mortgage?
you think that the Fed is going to raise another 50 percentage
Oh.
point next month?
Yes, I do.
You
Maybe not 50, but maybe a quarter. I do.
Okay.
It's all over
They're
the
thinking
the
of
news.
raising another 3 interest rate hikes, you know,
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I think we're going to hit sevens for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so volatile right now, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
But what happens, like they did a few months back, they did raise the rates, but then the lenders end up kind of softening the rate a
Mhm.
little bit and it goes down, you know. Like right today, like on a normal 30-year fixed, have a lender that's 30-year fixed is 6.5 to 6.625. So that's not bad, you know, but I think that we're probably going to see another quarter raise for sure, you
Wow.
know, for the feds. That's my own opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
very good news, but anyway, we'll see.
Okay.
you.
Maureen,
you.
that rate of 6.5, is that based off of 20% down with like a 740 FICO?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AAA paper.
Yeah, it's got to be good. But the
Yeah.
loan amount is 726,900, I believe. I think that's what the loan amount is, up to that.
Right. All
Yeah.
right. Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Annie Fan, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Anthony. I wanted to let everyone know a latest update on the title. Los Angeles County, they just had this new homeowner notification service. So how it works is, let's say if you live in Los Angeles County, right? And when you record any documentation, typically you will be mailing out the copies. So now you can sign up on this link. They're going to have an e-notification. So homeowners, let's say if anybody plays a lien judgment, or, you know, somebody transferred the ownership, you will get the notification. So instead of agents are talking about the buy downs or the interest rate, that could be another lead generation topics for you. And then you can do a combination, such as Chicago Title. We have a tool allows you to stay on top of your target farm area. So every 2 weeks, we're gonna run your database to let you know if there's any new transfer ownership happening within your farm. So you can pretty much, you know, leverage what Frank, the coach, was talking about today, right? So you can upload your database into our system. It would check for you every 2 weeks, letting you know if there's any ownership changing. And then you can target the ones they just had an ownership change, and to establish relationship with them, or even with your existing clients, to reach out to them, and then you can sign them up on the LA County Homeowner Notification Service. And I'm here for you and would love to work with you in 2023. And thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
Thanks, Annie. So I think that ends it for all our affiliates, right? Yep. Okay. So there's a lot of valuable information today, Frank, Anthony, all our affiliates, Peter, but it's up to you as an agent to apply it to your, daily practice. If you don't, then it's just in vain. So I urge you to use it daily. It's really good information, especially what Frank went over and stuff. So help your business, okay? So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and, the new business for the week. We only have one new escrow. And that is a-
Ruben, did you forget me?
Oh, Peter, sorry.
That's
My
I'm the last
apologies.
one.
But before you go, Peter, let me just congratulate to the agent for today's drawing, Rosa Santa Bayanez. Congratulations. You got some AirPods right there. So
Nice.
it pays to attend. Peter, without further ado, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ruben. All right, guys, hope you had a nice weekend. For those who watched the Oscar, hope you enjoyed it. It was a history in the making. Then I am so surprised that everything, everywhere, all at once got 7 awards, 7 Oscars, including Best Director, Best Actor, and the Best Movie. Wow, it's really amazing. Anyway.
Peter, you muted yourself.
I'm sorry. All this time I was.
No. Just for the past like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I didn't do anything. But anyway, all right. With that, I will like to share something about the. Can you, Edgar? Can you enable me to share?
Sure.
the screen?
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's still not able.
Try again, Peter.
Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna share with you the DLE update, which I do every quarter. As a real estate agent, you should be aware of what's happening in DLE. And every 3 months, they have a publication that tell you what's the new changes and what is happening in the DLE. But anyway, every 3 months, I will have the digest for the DLE update and just tell you what I think is interesting to you. So the first thing is with the DLE is that beginning in 2024, January 2024, there are new changes to the educational requirement for new licensees. Okay, the education, basic education to sit for the licensing exam is still the same. You have to have 3 semesters or 3 quarters of equivalent course in real estate practice in order to sit for the exam. But there are 2 additional changes. One is that you have there's a component of implicit bias, and you have to take it, and and also there's actionable steps the student can take to recognize and address their own implicit bias. The other thing is that the fair housing laws, you have to be aware of what is going on with the fair housing laws, and that includes the interactive participatory component, where the applicants can have a role play both as a consumer and a real estate professional. So those are the 2 additional requirements that you have to do before you can sit for the new license exam. And there are there are about 8 real estate laws that pertains to the practice of real estate. First one is the AB 1410, which will prevent the HOA to forbid owners to discuss HOA matters over social media. And the AB 1837 will allow the owner residents to redeem the foreclosed property in a 45 days grace period, and meaning that even after the foreclosure, the owner resident will have 45 days to redeem the property. And then there will be AB 2170, which allows a 30 days window for the eligible bidder to purchase property prior to the formal foreclosure. And AB 2503 that requires the California law revision to formalize terminology in California law. And the AB 2559 allows the prospective tenants to use a reusable tenant screening report, meaning that once you pay for that tenant screening report, you can reuse it for another application or leasing applications. And then the AB 2745 requires that you have to, before you sit for the broker's exam, you have to have 5 years continuous experience in being an agent. You cannot get interrupted. If during the 5 years you get interrupted, you have to start over again. And then the Senate Bill 1005 allow the conservator or guardian to bring a partition action if the property is the residence of a conservatee, meaning that if the conservatee lives in that property, the conservator or the guardian can do the partition for the property. SB 1017 will allow the tenant to terminate the tenancy, if you have if the tenant has a domestic violence. And that's a very important law, because usually you cannot terminate the tenancy, in a residential or commercial leases. But in residential lease, you can do that if you have incidents of the domestic violence. And the DRE would remind you that you have two, as a real estate agent, you have two duties. One is the legal duty, and the other one is the fiduciary duties. For the legal duty, you must give all required disclosure to appropriate parties, and make sure that all the documents are properly executed, and make sure that all the transactions are legal. And for your fiduciary duty, you have to exercise with reasonable skill and care, and also you have the obligation to act honestly and fairly, and you have to disclose all the material facts that are known to the parties. And last of all, and last and more important, is that you have to review and explain every step of the process to your client. So most of a lot of the, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of agents, because of the time constraint, you say that, oh, don't worry about it, it's very routine, just sign in and this and that, without really clearly explaining to the clients. And that is a no-no. Okay, you really have to spend some time, make sure that your clients are reasonably informed. It's called the informed consent in your fiduciary duty. Okay. And then there are prohibitions on the mortgage loan brokers. The loan broker, as you know, that would deals with the mortgage loans between the lender and the borrower. And this DLE, the rules and regulations specifically forbids loan broker to receive higher compensation by acting against the economic interests of the borrower, and also prohibit steering the borrower to a lender where the broker would get better commission. And also the loan broker must disclose all the costs to borrower regarding the loan. And also you cannot take a secret commission. And the last thing that I want to tell you is the volunteer for the subject matter expert. Now, as you know, that the DLE routinely engaged the subject matter expert to formulate the real estate exam subject matter, and also advise the DLE on all sectors of the real estate. And it is really an honor, to be this subject matter expert. And it's the one way of giving back to the society and to the profession. So if you get called for being a subject matter, it's an honor, and also it's a good thing for you to contribute. So don't turn it down, okay? And I think it's a very, very good experience that being a subject matter expert, and also you can add to your credentials. So that's a very good thing to do. All right, so with that, I know that it's getting late, but that's all I have to share with you. And if there's any questions, just let me know. Okay, back to you, Ruben.
Any questions for Peter? Okay, well, we have one new escrow for the week, last week. Congratulations to Christine Fenn. She double-ended a lease in San Gabriel, so let's all congratulate her. And I think that's it for this week. Anthony, anything you want to add before we end our session this week?
No, just great momentum, guys. I think that if we take Frank's training to fruition and do the circle prospecting and get the listings that we have already in our office and start calling, that's one of the ways we could drum up organic business. And looking forward to the 27th, we have the expo that we talked about. Me and Ruben will come up with a definite time that'll work out for everybody. And want to give everyone much great vibes for the whole week. That's it for me.
All right.
All right, guys, have a great week. Have
Bye.
a productive week, and we'll see each other next Monday.
Bye.